Peace. How you doing? This is Dr. Samori Swygert signing in, and today I want to remind the nation of a very important thing, and that is cops are human. Okay, we are arriving at a very slippery slope with law enforcement, the media, and American citizenry. I'm seeing before my eyes the new stratification of human life, the stratification of humanity. And why do I say that? We know that cops take an oath to protect and serve. When there are domestic disputes, we call the cops. When there's illegal activity, we call the cops. Things of that nature. Law enforcement has a utility to the community and our daily affairs. But what we are seeing now, and let me put my caveat out there, because I know how the media is. I know how you trolls are that would like to take a message and misconstrue it and twist it to something else. This is not about cop hating. This is about understanding that we are all human. What I'm seeing now is the media acting as if police have arrived, they've taken an oath to serve and protect. And because they've taken that oath and they wear a badge and have a uniform, that somehow cops are immune to mistakes. They are exempt from accountability. Somehow they have arrived into sainthood. That taking of the oath has almost been like a rebirth, and they're born with halos and angel wings. As if a badge and a uniform automatically erases and expunges any type of prejudice, bias, racism, personal hatred that they may have and harbor in their hearts and minds and their thoughts. These men and women are just like teachers, sanitation workers, people that work in a deli, fast food workers, people that work for your cable company. They're human, okay? Just like you and I. But we're getting to a point where anything that a cop says should not be questioned. They're giving carte blanche privilege where whatever they say goes. What's admissible in court is what the cop says. What a defendant or a plaintiff, well, depending on the situation, but if you're not the cop and you're in a court case, what you say has to be scrutinized heavily and with a lot of doubt. We're acting as if cops are immune from corruption, as if they can't be swayed or influenced or bribed, as if cops are not susceptible to mental illness, addiction, certain vices and perversions. A badge and a uniform doesn't sanitize them into the purest form of humanity that puts them above us. It doesn't put them on a pedestal. Their humanity is no greater than my humanity. That's what the message needs to be. We appreciate the service that they do. But in the service, remember, you are serving humanity? What's the purpose of serving humanity if you're going to treat them inhumane? That's the question right there. So it's to the point where we're saying a cop's life is more valuable than another citizen. And the truth is, my life is no less than a law enforcement officer's life. We only chose two different career paths. What gets me is when you hear the news commentators say, oh, well, they put their lives on the line every day and they do these 8, 10, 12-hour shifts where they patrol some of the most dangerous neighborhoods, and they have to get back home to their wives and kids and their family and everything. Excuse me. That's the bias right there. So you're saying they should be allowed to behave certain ways so they can get home to their wife and kids. We have to get home to our wife and kids too, and our families too, and our loved ones too, our girlfriends too, our fiancés too. Yeah, they patrol 8, 10, 12-hour shifts in some of the most dangerous places. What about the citizens that live in these places? Not 8, 10, 12-hour shifts and then they go home to a different area or maybe a nice suburban neighborhood. What about the people that are actual citizens that pay rent and mortgage in some of the most gang-infested, drug-infested, crime-ridden areas where gang warfare is happening all the time, stick-ups are happening all the time, rape is happening all the time, robbery is happening all the time? And they live there 24/7, 365. Some are born there, some die there. It's not an 8, 10, 12-hour shift, but you don't say anything about them making it home to their wife and kids and loved ones and fiancés and husbands. No, these people are not protected by the Fraternal Order of Police and police unions. Oftentimes, they're victims that people just don't hear about. You don't report on. But you let a cop get killed in one of these areas, you report on it all day for 2 weeks. Is that not distinguishing the value of human life? If we're going to report on life and death, it has to be consistent. And so the message that I want to make sure that I'm clearly articulating is we are all humans and we all have humanity, and your life is no more valuable than mine. The sanitation worker, the bus driver, the crossing guard, the teacher, the nurse, okay? The people that work in your rental office, the various sectors, the cable guy that has to come through the neighborhood, the postal worker that has to come through the neighborhood. And the postal worker isn't even strapped with anything. And they go through the same neighborhoods day in, day out. These are human citizens. There is no greater value. So, we appreciate law enforcement as they do their duty correctly, professionally, with integrity and consistency when it comes to applying justice, apprehending criminals, things of that nature. But what we don't want to get into is placing a cop's life over the normal, everyday citizen. We all have value and utility. Now, you let that sink in. And this is any cop hate speech. This is real talk. And anybody that has common sense and has a real care for humanity knows exactly what I'm talking about. So for the cops that are actually doing their job, good job. Continue doing that. For the good cops that's put their necks out every day, and the cops that are speaking up, because there are good ones, that are really doing. Like you had the sister that spoke up. There's a lot of good cops out there doing their thing. Continue doing it, and we ask you to be more vigilant and making sure that you also patrol your own colleagues to make sure that they're doing their jobs free of bias, free of prejudice, free of racial hatred. Police your own fellow police officers. That's community policing right there. Without the community even being involved. You just policing your fellow police officer. All right. I'm done. This is Dr. Samori Swygert signing out. Take care. Peace.